The story of Mufasa's foe is a tale many of us know. A story of betrayal that shaped our childhoods. But if we look deeper, beyond the heartbreak, we find a complex web of envy, ambition, and a kingdom's fragile balance. Let's revisit that fateful day, not just as a tragedy, but as a masterclass in manipulation and the raw, brutal politics of the Pride Lands. It all started with Scar's resentment, a shadow that had been growing for years. He wasn't just Mufasa's brother. He was the second-born, the one who would never be king. In his eyes, Mufasa had everything: the throne, the respect of the pride, the love of Sarabi, and now an heir in Simba. Every sunrise that cast Mufasa's shadow over the land was a reminder of what Scar could never have. This deep-seated envy wasn't just a feeling, it was the fuel for his entire existence. He saw Mufasa's strength not as a virtue for the kingdom, but as a personal insult, a constant display of his own perceived inadequacy. To orchestrate Mufasa's downfall, Scar couldn't rely on brute force alone. He was physically weaker, a point often highlighted in his slender frame compared to Mufasa's powerful build. So, he turned to his greatest asset, his cunning mind. He needed allies, and he found them in the most ostracized and desperate creatures of the Pride Lands. The hyenas, Shenzi, Bonzi, and Ed, weren't just hungry scavengers. They were a marginalized community, banished to the shadows of the elephant graveyard. Scar didn't offer them mere scraps. He offered them a vision, a future where their bellies would always be full, where they would be respected, and where they would never have to live in the dark again. He promised them a partnership, a new and glorious era. This alliance was a stroke of genius. It gave him an army, loyal not out of love, but out of a shared desire to upend the existing order. With his army in place, Scar set his trap. The plan was deceptively simple but devastatingly effective. He preyed on the two things he knew he could exploit: Simba's youthful curiosity, and Mufasa's unwavering love for his son. He lured Simba into a deserted gorge with a lie, a whisper of a surprise from his father. For a child eager to impress his dad and prove his bravery, the bait was irresistible. Once Simba was in the gorge, isolated and vulnerable, Scar gave the signal. The hyenas, positioned on the ridge above, unleashed a terrifying stampede of wildebeest. The ground shook, a thunderous roar of hooves filling the air. It was chaos, a river of panic and muscle flooding the canyon. Down below, tiny Simba was caught in the torrent. Mufasa, alerted by Zazu, saw his son in mortal danger, and in that moment, he wasn't a king, he was a father. Without a second's hesitation, he plunged into the stampede. This is where we see the true measure of Mufasa's character. He navigates the chaos with incredible strength and courage, deflecting charging wildebeest, desperately trying to reach his son. He was the protector, the embodiment of a king willing to sacrifice everything for his people. And in this case, for his own blood, he managed to reach Simba, placing him on a small, safe ledge. But in saving his son, he sealed his own fate. Weakened and struggling to find a foothold, he began the desperate climb up the steep cliff face. His claws scraped against the rock as he fought against exhaustion and the sheer terror of the stampede below. And just as he was about to reach the top, a figure emerged from the dust and shadows. It was Scar. Mufasa looked up, his eyes pleading. "Scar! Brother, help me." For a fleeting second, there might have been hope. This was his brother, his own family. But Scar's response was chilling. He leaned in close, his voice a venomous whisper, and uttered the most infamous words in the history of the Pride Lands. "Long live the king." Then, he dug his claws into Mufasa's paws, not to help, but to hurt, to ensure his fall. The look of shock and betrayal on Mufasa's face is something no one can forget. It wasn't just the fall that killed him, it was the realization that his own brother had orchestrated it. As Mufasa plummeted into the stampede below, Scar's victory was complete. But the plan didn't end there. The dead king wasn't enough. The heir had to be removed too. Scar found a distraught Simba, who had just witnessed his father's death. Instead of offering comfort, Scar twisted the knife. He manipulated the cub's grief and guilt, making him believe the entire tragedy was his fault. "If it weren't for you," he'd still be alive, he hissed, planting a seed of self-loathing that would haunt Simba for years. He told Simba to run away and never return, effectively exiling the true heir. And to make sure he never came back, he sent his hyena allies to finish the job. With Mufasa dead and Simba presumed lost, the path to the throne was clear. Scar ascended Pride Rock, not with the cheers of a loving pride, but with the menacing laughter of hyenas echoing behind him. He announced the tragic accident and, with a false air of solemn duty, declared that he would step in to lead. The Pride Lands, once vibrant and balanced under the circle of life, were about to enter their darkest chapter. The sun set on Mufasa's reign, and a long, oppressive shadow fell over the kingdom. Scar's ambition had been realized, but it came at a devastating cost, setting the stage for a future of ruin and an eventual, hard-won redemption. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this deep dive into the politics of the Pride Lands interesting, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more analysis of your favorite stories. See you in the next video.